become a dealer today. back here at Whiteland Raceway Park on Kart Chaser, getting started here with our heat races for this afternoon. Your 206 Cadet Sportsman is first on tap for you here. Saw some pretty interesting storylines developing in qualifying, really a lot of parity between Simon Ellick and Martinez, and then James Fox just ran away with the second class here. You'll see how your starting grid shakes out a little bit there. You'll see that James Fox, your pole sitter for the second class, is going to be starting fifth on the actual grid. Green flags in the air here for our 206 Cadet heat. Then you'll see the Sportsman field following after that as well. Remember, in these heats, 5 minutes and then 2 laps at the end of that 5 minutes. So a little bit of extra racing action for you here at the Whiteland Raceway Park. A little move to the inside. There's going to be a spin. 2 karts get together. See who that is here in just a second. Looks like the 538 of McNeely, and then it looks like the 22 of Kuntz were the two that had the worst of it there. I don't know if anybody else was involved in that incident. It's going to allow Fox to get away to the early lead there, at least in his class. Just over 3 minutes 50 seconds here in our first heat left. It's gone the way nobody really expected it to so far. An incident there in the first couple of corners really shook up the grid, especially in the Sportsman class. We'll see what's happening here. At least up at the top of your field, you've got Blake Martinez, Simon Ellick, mano a mano. Really not much of a gap there between you. You see just a half of a second between the two right now on your timing and scoring tower.
These two
kind of similar to what we've seen from qualifying so far.
These two really trying to work on building some kind of a battle, but Blake Martinez, I mean, he's just been so strong all week, and a little bit of heartbreak here and there for the 38 machine, but definitely putting together a good case of it here for the 206 Cadet Sportsman heat. So we got our eyes craned in right now on the 22 machine. That is K1 Kuntz. And now looking back towards the front of the pack here.
In case you're just joining us too, in the first lap, incident between McNeely and Kuntz really left them bound in the back end of the grid. You gotta look at McNeely right there right now. Was trying to just look to the inside from about the 4th position, really understand what he was looking for there. Just didn't work for him. Back end of the cart got out, unfortunately collected Kuntz as well too. So that's why they're down in 6th and 7th position right now. I believe Hayen was also involved in that incident. Simon Ellick now falling behind to just over a second from Blake Martinez.
Yeah, he's doing everything he can to try and roll that 38 machine in, but Martinez just working himself into another zip code here as we get into the later stages. 1:53 seconds left on the board, plus 2 laps. So it's still far from over. Anything can happen here. We've seen some chaotic stuff happen in the closing laps here this weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something else here. I mean, especially with the rough start here. There's plenty of places these guys can go and make mistakes.
I will say again, we've had a bad record with commentating curses, but now that the conditions are dry, we haven't seen as many, self spins as we have earlier. Usually it's been people just moving, going for those lunge moves that, hey, we're everybody's out here learning to hone their racecraft and everything like that. Sometimes you're going to make a move and it's not going to work, and that's the way that you learn, right? So.
Look at it this time at the line. Martinez pulls just a 10th over Simon Ellick this lap. On that 1 second gap to a 1.1. 38 Kart. Cruising through the S's here, out of the S's, now into the final turn.
See the 40 in the background there.
Yeah, it looks
But
like
really
Simon
just
Alex closing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially in the past couple of seconds here, really has shrunk that gap down to now 0.8 of a second, down from about a second and 0.2 where it was earlier.
Yeah, Leott's really getting on the wheel here as we get to the closing stages. Also helps he's got that, you know, as I've mentioned, the neon green helmet really stands out. Helps us figure out who we're looking at here. And it's really closing here at the stripe this go round. It is now 0.8 of a second. Pretty soon he'll be able to pick up
lap
on the
traffic
slipstream.
too. Maybe a little bit of a bobble there for the 40. I didn't really see. Maybe just adjusting the weight of the kart too. The gap seems to open up just a little bit more for the time being, at least.
Yeah, that's just Simon Alex giving it all he's got, trying every possible way to find a way to be better than Martinez. So, a couple little mistakes here and there when you're trying to do that. When you're the chasing car, I always feel like it's a little more difficult.
Oh yeah.
To be the car behind, because you open yourself up to the opportunity to make more mistakes. Whereas if you got the lead, you got that, you know, cushion of a couple seconds, you can just kind of Sunday cruise it a little bit. When you get to your bumper, you know, open back up. But Simon Elliott gave it all he had, falls back to 1.4 seconds back as we are on the final lap now, working through the S's for the final time. And to bring home the gold here for the 206 Cadet Sportsman Heat and figure out the starting grid, it's going to be Blake Martinez taking home the checkered flag, followed by Leah Semenelic. James Fox going to come across the line here in third place. That's going to be over Cole Scott, Bo Laser, Patrick McNeely, Keelan Kuntz, and Charlie Hayen. Getting ready for the 206 Masters to take to the track here for their 5-minute qualifying heat. I'll tell you, and I'm expecting a good deal of aggression with the grid here. You know, these guys all real scrappy drivers, and none of them really want to give too much of an inch.
Yeah, that should be one of our closer races, at least of the afternoon. Obviously, with the rain earlier in the day, that kind of made everything crazy, and we didn't have much close bumper-to-bumper, side-by-side racing. But I would expect we see it in this heat, and then especially going into the final too, and we have that 10 minutes to work with as the karts are being let out now onto the racetrack. I think we'll see a lot of that here.
I've got a good feeling of it as well. Because remember, Evan McCorkadale and J. Brian Williams were so close in lap time in qualifying. Troy Toney was right there too, as well as Simon Ellick. So,
well, yeah, and they're all going to be graded up this time too, and in a pack right off the bat, right? So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
absolutely. As we watch these cards work their way through the S's here. It does look like we are missing Michael Shaver and Danny Cutshaw, unfortunately, but J. Brian Williams in control of the field here as we work ourselves towards the tram line to get the green flag in the air. And the flag is in the hand. And it's down. We're green. The 2-6 Masters dive it down into turn one. J. Brian Williams to the inside of Evan McCorkadale. McCorkadale going to lose a little bit here. It seems to be the way it goes here with the outside line on the restart. But no, he's going to fight back on the outside line through turn two and hold on to second place over the 24 machine of Troy Tony.
We'll say really smart move there by Troy Tony. We've seen a lot of drivers today really try to be aggressive on that first lap into that corner there and make that pass and then take themselves out really early. I think a good move right now by Troy Tony just to settle in and then try to chase down McCorkadale.
Across the line with lap one on the board. Brian Williams is leading, but not by much. Evan McCorkadale all over the back bumper coming through turn two and hounding him all the way down into the quick left-hander that leads us to the S's. A little bit of a bobble there in three. Out of McCorkadale loses a little bit of time, loses contact with the rear bumper of Brian Williams, but getting it all back here through the S's with a really good arc into the corner. Now bumper to bumper into the last handful of corners. Through the final corner onto the straightaway, now through the kink. It's still going to be Brian Williams at the stripe here with the lead, but it's close.
Something I've noticed now too, the track's right out. There's not really a difference in lines into these corners. Everybody kind of just following the same preferred line right now. But really, I mean, McCorkdale's right there on J. Brian Williams, and I say they've kind of, now that I say that though, a little bit of a bobble that's going to allow Troy Tony to get back into the mix. I say they separated themselves by a few kart lengths, but just as I say that, it's back to a 3-kart battle for the lead.
This thing is far from over. Any one of these 3 karts can bring home the gold today. And this is the most competition we've seen Brian Williams have to fight with. It's down to the inside. Here comes Evan McCorkadale with a last-second dive into turn one to take over the lead. And he's going to take it, try to run with it here, but it looks like Brian Williams is trying to reel him back in down the back straightaway. Nothing lined up into turn three. Going to have to settle. Maybe see if he can set up a pass into four here to start off the S's. Good run, but not enough. And McCorkadale is going to lead us through the S's here, and he's at least going to get one lap on the board here as we work into the final corners.
Yeah, J. Brian Williams there just had the slightest bit of a bobble going through the hairpin that allowed Troy Tony to get back up to his bumper for a little bit. So it continues to be these 3 cars up front of the pack here battling it out for this pole position for our final race later on this afternoon. Really good move, I will say, by McCorkadale there to get in and keep the momentum through the corners here. And also, I think we're seeing drivers starting to learn you really don't want to risk it on this corner. It's really hard to keep the momentum up, and it's pretty much just setting yourself up to get past right here as we see J. Brian Williams take a look to the outside. We'll see if he's able to get it done here. Around the outside, he'll take the lead back.
And Brian Williams with a power move around the outside is going to take away the lead, and a couple kart links with it as he works himself now into the final turn out of the S's. And now McCorkadale under fire right now from the 24 machine of Troy Tony because he has not fallen off the back of this 3-kart train.
Just all of these karts right now pretty much seem like they're glued together. Really nobody able to get out to a sizable advantage, just trading positions. Almost looks like a drafting race out there. A little bit of frustration, it looks like, from Brian Williams there. Guess I saw him hitting the steering wheel. Don't know what that was all about. I didn't see much contact, but maybe we just couldn't see it from our angle.
I don't think it wasn't fun. McCorkadale stuck his nose out like he was going to make a move and then backed out of it. And I just think that maybe Brian Williams didn't like the thought of being hung out to dry in that corner, because the way it would have worked out is he would have probably lost both of these spots. And probably just a little bit of frustration. You know, the nerves are strong all the way throughout the field. You know, Brian Williams didn't have the opportunity this morning to run his race because of the inclement conditions. And trying to solidify himself here. But McCorkadale is all over the back bumper, and it's not going to be an easy walk for Brian Williams because, I mean, heck, any one of these 3 karts, they can take it. They are all matched on pace right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, it's just a 3-car train right now. They're all just linked together, and Troy Tony is sometimes, it looks like, hanging back just a little bit, kind of seeing if maybe these two get together, he can kind of sneak by. You don't want to be right up on it because then you're just going to be kind of involved in it as well. So we'll see how this transpires. They're probably going to be coming to the 2 laps to go signal this time by.
another thing that I wouldn't be surprised by either, though, and I've seen it out of Troy Tony before here at Whiteland. He'll wait back there, the third cart in line, and then hold on until the last possible second of the last lap and a half, and just make a crazy bonsai move that takes over 2 spots and walks away with the win before anybody can even figure out what just happened to him.
Well, especially in this 206 Masters class, there's something to be said about timing, right? Especially with the pace where everybody is so close to each other. Really, anybody, if they really wanted to right this second, could probably make a move. But is that really what you want to do right now? Because like you said, there was some frustration earlier from Brian Williams. They're kind of worried about getting hung out to dry. You don't want to make a move and then find yourself at the back of this pack. As a little bit of separation now opens up about 2 to maybe even 3 kart lengths between our leaders.
Yeah, McCorkadale had Tony make a little peek to the inside, and it threw both drivers off. It's going to open up an advantage for J. Brian Williams here on the closing lap with the white flag in the air. Just a handful of corners left to decide who's going to start where for the final. As we watch Brian Williams set it down into turn 3. Good clean corner for him. Here comes Troy Tony to the back bumper of McCorkadale as we work into the S's for the final time. And a really good arc for Troy Tony all over the back bumper of McCorkadale now. But it's going to hurt the momentum. He's not going to be able to get the run that he needs to make the pass. And out of the final corner, it's going to be J. Brian Williams winning the 206 Masters heat over Evan McCorkadale, Troy Tony, and Kevin Simonellic.
Yeah, McCorkadale there really tried to drive hard to get back to the back bumper. J. Brian Williams really tried to stab it in there too into that hairpin turn, and that kind of hurt him, almost cost him the 3rd position there. But able to hang on just by 0.2 of a second on Troy Tony there. So he'll start on the outside of the front row. Again, here we'll probably see a lot of the same when we get into the final. So really excited for this class. They always put on a show for us here at Whiteland Raceway Park.
Yes, they absolutely do. As we wait now for the KA Juniors to take to the track here. This will be a fun one to watch as well.
And of course, after this, we have the 206 lights, which is always exciting too.
Oh yeah, the 206 lights always a good show. But you saw they opened the gates and released the hounds. Mason Gallion going to lead Jordan Le Pen, Lucian Laser, Nolan Wade, and Mason Ward to the green flag here for this heat.
I want to give a shout out to the 206 light class there because we accidentally almost skipped over them in the qualifying. So just want to give an extra shout out here before we get going on the KA Juniors.
That was going to be a pretty close field, I feel.
I think this will be too.
Oh, absolutely. Either way, Mason Gallion getting ready to set up shop here and get us going green as we work through to the front straightaway into the tram lines here. And once again, the flag in hand, the green flag is out, down into turn 1. They're all going to charge off in. Mason Gallion going to hold on to the lead here with Lucian Laser all over the back bumper as we work ourselves into turn 2, down the back straightaway. Lucian Laser all over the back bumper of Gallion here as we work into 3. And Gallion, a little bit of a bobble, hits the curb, slides up the track a little bit, and thankfully, Lucian Laser was there to help him pick up the pieces. Now running defensive into the S's. They are side by side right now for 2nd place. About 3-4 karts all battling right now for P2.
Yeah, take 2nd basically back onto 5th and throw them into a Yahtzee Cup and dump them out because that's pretty much what happened there. Everybody trading positions except for your leader right now, Mason Gallion. And with all that going on, able to get out to at least right now a temporary advantage. We'll see how long it lasts once all these karts get lined up and back to the optimum line. But really what you want to see if you're that 64 kart early.
Oh, Laser goes off a little bit. Good save, though. That could have been a huge loss of time there for the 800 machine. Able to get it back, pointing in the right direction, and keep the pedal down, though, at the same time. He's not really going to lose much of anything, just a couple tenths.
We've seen that throughout the afternoon too. People will be able to drop one tire, maybe 2 tires off, and it doesn't really hurt you all that much as long as you're able to keep it straight.
I'll tell you, it is so violent watching them do it though in the karts, because you know the very limited suspension really looks like they're getting jostled around out there.
Oh, it probably doesn't feel good.
Lucian Laser holding on to a commanding second place right now over third place Jordan Le Pen. About a second separating second from third, but about a second separating the lead from second as well. Well, now just over a second as Lucian Laser falls an extra couple tenths off there to Mason Gallion, and Gallion just off on a nice Sunday cruise.
Yeah, big jump off the curb there, but shouldn't hurt too much. And you can kind of see there is a little bit of grass and dirt on that entry to the hairpin there. We'll see if that's going to mess with anybody right now. You can kind of see the dust getting kicked up as everybody goes through that section of the course.
Would you say they got clippings?
Probably.
Gotta layer down, but either way. Mason Gallion laying it down right now across the stripe with a pretty commanding lead and some pretty solid lap times to boot too, at 35.664. Just about 0.2 of a second up on Lucian Laser that time across the stripe.
Yeah, see, there's just a little bit of dust there, and it's really tough because it's right in what I would assume to be the braking zone for that corner.
There's another obstacle. Just another obstacle added here to the ever so complicated Whiteland Raceway Park circuit.
I was going to say it too, I was wondering if the lead was going to balloon in any kind of way. Not really, only by about 0.2 of a second here. A little bit of a peek back you see there out of Gallion to see where that kart is behind them, and still a good gap right now. Just got to be smooth for the next minute and 37 seconds and 2 laps.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time remaining here for this heat. Gallion just gone from the start of this thing. Really good job getting through 1 and 2, and since then he hasn't had to really worry too much about anything else aside from the track ahead of him. Lucian Laser trying everything he can to try and reel in that advantage to the 64 machine, but it just doesn't seem like he's coming up with anything. I mean, he's closed it maybe about a tenth or two, tenth and a half maybe. We'll see what it is this time at the stripe, because we have noticed Lucian really getting fast in the later stages of these things earlier today.
And as you mentioned, knocked off just a little bit of time there, so maybe found something. We do know that 800 kart is fast. Usually it's just the aggression, honestly, that is what has been Lucian Laser we've seen over the weekend here, just being a little bit too aggressive on the moves, maybe put themselves in a bad position where they're playing defense right off a pass there. And I kind of saw that first lap where they went into the hairpin, maybe thought better of it that time, just learning off of that experience gained over the weekend. And really, that's what it's all about here.
Well, I'll tell you, it's it's a statement I've heard a lot of times. It's a lot easier to tell a fast driver to slow down than it is to tell a slow driver to speed up. And, you know, it's fun watching these drivers progress. And Lucian Laser, definitely a fast driver, maybe puts himself in a couple situations he doesn't need to, but you know what? You only learn about racecraft through doing it. And that is the most important thing. And, you know, at any point, you know, we're in go-karts, we're learning. And that's the point. Doesn't matter, well, really, if you're racing, you're learning. Doesn't matter if you're go-karts, street stocks, Indy cars, Formula Lights, NASCARs, like it, wherever you are in a grid, you learn something. And if the day you stop learning is the day you stop getting better. Right now, with 2 laps remaining on the board, coming through the final corner for the next to last time, white flag in the air. Mason Gallion with a strong, dominant performance here in the KA Junior Heat, looking like he's going to walk away with it here. Working himself out of turn number 1 with a huge advantage over second place Lucian Laser, now down the back straightaway. And that kart has just been on a rail since it unloaded this morning. Working into the S's here for the final time. Lucian Laser in that 64 kart. Absolutely flying here around the Whiteland Raceway Park and into the final corner and across to the start-finish line. Checkered flag in the air, and it is Mason Gallion with the heat win over Lucian Laser. Jordan Le Pen bringing it home third with Mason Ward and Nolan Wade rounding out your 5-kart field.
Honestly, I thought that one was going to be a little bit closer than it was. I thought there was going to be a little bit more competition between Laser and Gallion, but it just goes to show Gallion really learning a lot of things this weekend and able to get out to an early advantage, and really also too, just the back and forth battling. You can see how even in the first lap, if you get stuck side by side with a kart, it really, really hurts you for the rest of the race, the rest of the heat. Makes it hard to get back to the front.
As you look at the paddock here and see all the wonderful families here on the grid. See that little one, probably, you know, a couple years removed from being out here in one of these karts themselves, wheeling around here and putting on a show for us. Always fun to see the evolution. As we see Braden Heber take that number 8 kart out here onto the track to try and put a bow on a pretty much perfect weekend of racing for him and that 8 team. But he's going to have to go through some pretty stiff competition here. Ethan Williams, been fast, was right there, just a couple thousandths of a second off Braden Heber in qualifying. Probably the closest qualifying bid we've seen all day between pole and second. In fact, no, guaranteed the closest we've seen all day. Levi Wilbur in third. We saw the pace out of Levi earlier. And Colton Kelly, Tyler Sims, Andrew Petrie, Colin Harden, Andrew Goldman, Zachary Allen, and Gavin Holtham. That is the 10 names you need to keep your eye on here, because it could very well be any of them.
Well, and to that point, too, the best thing about this class is we'll usually have the battle up at the front with the usual names, but there's battles all through this class as well for each and every single position. Everywhere you look on the racetrack is something to watch for fans.
Absolutely. Also, I like how Ethan Williams has the 42 slapped on the side of the helmet, too. As we roll into the tram lines here, these guys getting ready to collect the green for the 206 light heat. And the flag is down. We are underway down into turn 1. Braden Heber trying to carve out an advantage, but not able to really pull much of anything as he still has a kart tandemed to his rear bumper. That looks like the 506 machine of Levi Wilbur, if recognition is with me. And now with a dive down into turn 3, going to take away the lead from Braden Heber. Heber trying to fight back, though, as we got one kart off the track. A little bit of a 3-kart battle here for the 3rd place. And a little bit of a log jam scenario as well, but coming out of the final turn here with a little bit of a push and a shove from Braden Heber. And across the stripe here to complete lap number 1, it's going to be Levi Wilbur, your race leader here. But now a dive down to the inside. Here comes Braden Heber, and it's going to be a battle for sure as Braden Heber sends it through turn 1 on the low line and takes the lead back from Levi Wilbur.
I wonder if both of those drivers kind of looked back behind him and saw how much the field stacked up behind him and went, hey, I have a little bit of time here to make a move and get out to the lead. And I think that's what Heber did exactly. Now he's able to set sail a little bit. I don't think he's going to be able to get too far away, but still right there, at least for the time being, about 5 or 6 kart lengths, opening up a little bit of a gap. But you look behind here, there's still battles all the way through this grid, even back for the battle for 8th and 9th place.
Well, you said you don't think, but he sure is going to try now, isn't he? Already up to a 7/10 of a second advantage over Levi Wilbur. Question is, how quick will Levi start to close in on that gap? Also, we're looking at the 42 machine of Ethan Williams clawing his way into a 3rd place running position here after a pretty chaotic start to things here. You know, nobody went around, no massive contact, but it was just an absolute fight for these guys to get through the S's the first go-round.
Yeah, just a lot of jockeying for position in that first lap, which is normal, to say the least. And I think we have one kart off there. I just saw out of the corner of our screen. Not entirely sure who it was.
I want to say that was potentially Harden. No, yeah, we got one kart off the track right now.
I think Hart and Haltham are both off right now because one went to pit road and then you can see another one right there.
That was a rough break, but the good news is it is a heat. It's qualifying, you know, still get another chance at it here for the final. And as we've seen today, anything, literally anything can happen.
Less now that the rain has left us, but yes, you are correct.
Look up here towards the front of the pack, dive down to the inside. I think this is the battle for third, correct? Yes, no, actually this is the battle for fifth as Kelly's going to take away this spot from Petrie with a little bit of a curb hop. But hey, if it works, it works.
It's kind of interesting because we haven't seen that really work out super well. We've seen everybody kind of give that spot away right away, see if Kelly's able to hang on here going through the high speed corners. This is where we usually see people get a run here, but so far so good. Looks to be holding them off, but every time I say something like that, like 2 seconds later somebody makes a move.
Absolutely. You see the 22 start to draw a bead a little bit closer to the back of the 38 machine coming up into the S's, but it's not enough. Colton Kelly's still very much in charge of fifth position here. And a little bit of bumper-to-bumper action right now as the battle for six is starting to weigh on here between Zachary Allen and Andrew Petrie as we work through the final corner here onto the home straight. Out of turn one, Kelly still in charge of fifth position. Petrie following just behind as we see a little plume of dust. Somebody must have grabbed a little bit more grass than they were hoping to. And a bit of a wobble there out of Colton Kelly. The 38 machine
really,
about put the thing up on three wheels.
Yeah, really threw the back end around there. I don't know if that was intentional to get the cart rotated or if that was kind of a panic save there, but either way, it works out. It kind of keeps the same lead that they've held, at least over this pack of two carts for the time being.
Yeah,
and back at the front of your pack, Heber's opened up about a 2 and 4/10 advantage over Wilbur, which I got to be honest with you, I was not expecting that, Sheldon.
I wonder if Wilbur's trying to conserve a little bit here. I mean, time's running out, but you know that Heber's gone right now. He's got a huge advantage. Just let him run with it. You just stay back there, keep your equipment nice and clean. Log some laps, maybe try a couple different lines, different modes of attack, and see if you can't reel him in a little bit. But yeah, Heber's absolutely gone now, up to 1.8 seconds over second place Wilbur. And you know, Heber's just doing what we've seen all weekend out of that 8 cart. He's been bad fast since he unloaded. So much so that the last lap that he ran, lap number 7 in this stint, was a 37.611, which is his best lap today.
Yeah, only one other driver is even in that 37-second bracket, which is the driver that's catching him right now, which is Levi Wilbur. And last time by, they both ran actually pretty similar lap times.
You see Braden Heber take it into the S's here for the final time. A spell of absolute dominance out of the 8 machine, now working through the S's. Bring himself into the final corner here for the final time, and quick flick to the left and home safe here on the front stretch, and the checkered flag is in the air. Braden Heber is going to win the 206 light heat over Levi Wilbur. Ethan Williams going to bring it home third with Tyler Sims in fourth. And he's immediately followed by Colton Kelly, Andrew Petrie, Zachary Allen, and then it's going to be Andrew Goldman, Colin Harden, and Gavin Holtum reining in the 10 cart field here.
It's almost time.
And with all of our heat racing concluded, we are going to step away for a quick little break and put a little bit of sponsors on the screen here, and we will be back to bring you more of the racing action here on Kart Chaser.
Brandon, why are there all these charges
stop.
for just over $200? I'm tired of all this branding business, okay? Branding this, branding that. Why are there all these expenses on AKR over $200? We know, okay? Take a walk with me. At Shop AKR, they have everything you need to start racing at a very cheap and affordable price. They have MXC rims, they got chains, electrical stands, tilt seats, they got MXCs. And if you didn't know, on top of that, any purchase in the continental US over $200, that's free shipping.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the AKR Anonymous meeting over there?
Dude, I'm doing a commercial.
Dude, we have no time. It's about to start.
Stop. We all love Shop AKR. Me? More than others. What do I get at Shop AKR?
MXC rims.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney, Turney in the dirt.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all of the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion, Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to K100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Are you sick of making the wrong setup changes? Or arguing with your kid about their driving? Apex gives you the answers within seconds. Apex is the latest innovation from Kart Class, which can solve thousands of karting queries at the press of a button. No more asking random people kart setups, or being intimidated by larger teams. Just type it in and let Apex do the rest. Apex covers different kart brand setups, axles, rims, seats, and everything racecraft related. For as little as a can of chain loop, you can learn from over 30 years karting experience in seconds in the palm of your hand. Check out Apex at kartclass.com today.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to Indy Kart and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here.
For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Are you sick of making the wrong setup changes? Or arguing with your kid about their driving? Apex gives you the answers within seconds. Apex is the latest innovation from Kart Class, which can solve thousands of karting queries at the press of a button. No more asking random people kart setups, or being intimidated by larger teams. Just type it in and let Apex do the rest. Apex covers different kart brand setups, axles, rims, seats, and everything racecraft related. For as little as a can of chain loop, you can learn from over 30 years karting experience in seconds in the palm of your hand. Check out Apex at kartclass.com today.
All the way up to the finish line. Who is it going to be? And it's Sean Perez who wins in Crescent.
Ty Fisher wins $1,000 at K1 Junior.
Alex Stanfield played it perfectly here. Told him to wait. Stanfield wins the Duffy in 2024 for TV Karts.
Amarillo Kart Complex is now the official distributor for TV Kart in the continental U.S. Become a dealer today.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Brandon, why are there all these
right,
charges
stop.
for just over $200?
I'm tired of all this branding business, okay? Branding this, branding that. Why are there all these expenses on AKR over $200? We know, okay? Take a walk with me. At Shop AKR, they have everything you need to start racing at a very cheap and affordable price. They have MXC rims, they got chains, electrical stands, tilt seats. They got MXCs, and if you didn't know, on top of that, any purchase in the continental U.S. over $200, that's free shipping.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the AKR Anonymous meeting over there?
Dude, I'm doing a commercial.
Dude, we have no time. It's about to start.
Stop. We all love Shop AKR. Me? More than others. What do I get at Shop AKR?
MXC rims.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Because Kyle Cuthbertson doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney, Turney in the dirt.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
It's like $20 a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like $50 a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all of the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to K100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead-follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Are you sick of making the wrong setup changes? Or arguing with your kid about their driving? Apex gives you the answers within seconds. Apex is the latest innovation from Kart Class, which can solve thousands of karting queries at the press of a button. No more asking random people kart setups, or being intimidated by larger teams. Just type it in and let Apex do the rest. Apex covers different kart brand setups, axles, rims, seats, and everything racecraft related. For as little as a can of chain loop, you can learn from over 30 years karting experience in seconds in the palm of your hand. Check out Apex at kartclass.com today.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to Indy Kart and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here.
For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Are you sick of making the wrong setup changes? Or arguing with your kid about their driving? Apex gives you the answers within seconds. Apex is the latest innovation from Kart Class, which can solve thousands of karting queries at the press of a button. No more asking random people kart setups, or being intimidated by larger teams. Just type it in and let Apex do the rest. Apex covers different kart brand setups, axles, rims, seats, and everything racecraft related. For as little as a can of chain loop, you can learn from over 30 years karting experience in seconds in the palm of your hand. Check out Apex at kartclass.com today.
All the way up to the finish line. Who is it going to be? And it's Sean Perez who wins in Crescent.
Ty Fisher wins $1,000 in K1 Junior.
Alex Stanfield played it perfectly here. Told him to wait. Stanfield wins the Duffy in 2024 for TV Karts.
Amarillo Kart Complex is now the official distributor for TV Kart in the continental U.S. Become a dealer today.
And welcome back, race fans, to Whiteland Raceway Park for round 6 of the Indy Karting Championship. And it has been a treacherous and honestly incredible weekend of racing with all kinds of different changes and twists at pretty much every point in the road. But that road's coming to a close here as we get ready for the finals here on the afternoon. The gate coming open here. You guys enjoyed a little bit of a break, but the break's over now. It's straight racing through till we finish it up and crown your victors of the weekend.
Yeah, and again, just to go over the final format here, 10 minutes, 2 laps, so a little bit longer than the races we've seen so far with the heats. But what I like about that is that it always adds an extra little dynamic. You see the come and go with some of the karts throughout the course of the 10 minutes. Sometimes you see some late rushes from some karts that are in second and third place. You'll see some amazing runs through the field. I've seen people even take the win from second or third place. So we'll see what happens here going through the rest of the evening. We got 4 classes of action, so about an hour of action here, straight basically. So ready to get started here. The 206 Cadet, 206 Sportsman final.
And this right here, this has been a battle all day long between two main names. I mean, we got a lot of pace in here. You know, James Fox, a really good one as well. Patrick McNeely, Bo Laser winning early this morning in the rain. But that battle between Late Seminole and Blake Martinez is going to be one to watch here as we roll through the tram lines. I don't think, did they give them the go-ahead there?
First group got the green flag.
Okay, and the green flag for the second group as well. So we are underway. Racing has started here. As you look down the back straightaway right now at Martinez versus Simonellic. Martinez with the lead right now over Lead Simonellic. And a little bit further back at our second class here. This is coming down to Bo Laser and James Fox.
Neely mixing it up in there too. Big jump.
Yeah, absolutely. Neely doing a great job here today. But right now up at the top of the chart for your second class, looks like it is going to be James Fox here across the line with a decent advantage over McNeely.
Big move for Patrick McNeely though. That's up 2 spots. Made a really good jump there on the start. Was able to get to the inside and made it stick. Now, don't know if he's going to be able to catch up to James Fox. I'll be completely honest with you. James Fox is kind of in a class of his own when it comes to this race. But if anybody's going to do it right now, McNeely's in prime position, has the clean air, has all the space in the world to chase him down. But at some point here, Fox is even probably going to catch up to some of the drivers from the class ahead of him.
It is a long race. You got plenty of time left to go. Now, not sure what's going on necessarily, but it does appear that we have a little bit of an issue with the lap count right now. Still saying that we're on the formation. We definitely are not in the formation. We are well into the race right now as Blake Martinez setting down scorching lap times, but Lead Simonellic still on, you know, within a stone's throw of him. 0.3 of a second at the line last time by. And still right there in tow. You see Lee at the young driver with the green helmet right there behind Blake Martinez with the blue and red livery. A little bit of change up from the kart we saw yesterday, but so it looks pretty good nonetheless.
Look good, feel good, drive good, I guess, is the philosophy behind that.
That's why my paint schemes are always better than my stats on iRacing. Spend more time in the paint booth than actually on the circuit. And there we go. We do have the scoring up to date now. 7 minutes and 20 seconds remain with Blake Martinez and Lane Simonellic just separated by the thinnest of margins right now. About a kart length and a half between first and second as Blake Martinez catches a little bit too much of the curbing there, and it's going to open the opportunity up for Lane Simonellic to really close in on him here up into the S's. Not as much of a gain as I was expecting out of the 40 machine, but still a gain nonetheless as we work ourselves into the final turn here. And back onto the front straightaway, quick left hand with the kink and down to the start-finish line. And this lap, once again, going to fall into the hands of Martinez. And looking a little bit further in the back right now. Yeah, it looks like James Fox has a decent advantage over 5th place Patrick McNeely, about a 5-second gap between 4th and 5th. But that is 1st and 2nd for their class.
And Bo Laser's still there within about a second of Patrick McNeely, so still some battles going on there for 5th and 6th position overall on the racetrack. Right now, this is back at the front of the pack. Martinez, Simon Ellick, what you're looking at right now.
And down to the inside here, working his way past a little bit of lap traffic is Blake Martinez. And Liat Semenelek starting to lose a little bit of time here to Martinez as Martinez really winds it up. Last time by was the fastest lap that he's ran here today, the 39.005.
I also think the lap traffic slowed Simon Ellick down just enough, especially in the high-speed portion of the track for Martinez to get a couple more kart lengths on them right now.
It was a huge loss of time there. A second lost for Liat Semenelek working past that lap traffic as we see a little bit of dust coming up there in turn 1. Looks like somebody took a little bit of a shortcut, but got it back going nonetheless.
I've seen that a lot too with drivers trying to carry the speed through these high-speed corners there. Sometimes just kind of pushes wide on them and then they find themselves out in the grass.
Look at this right here. What you're looking at is that is not a tired driver behind the wheel of the 38 car. Well, you know, it very well could be. 8 o'clock start time, pretty early in the morning, but Blake Martinez ducking his head down to get the most out of the straight line speed as he possibly can, because you know, any reduction in drag coefficient always beneficial. And we did see there too with the quick snap on the camera that we did have a kart off the track. That looks like it'll be Cole Scott in the 11 machine.
Yeah, 1 kart off the track, 1 kart, 1 lap down, still on the track right now. So not sure if it was mechanical issues or what was going on there. But it's kind of funny. You see that Martinez is the only driver that's really ducking down and trying to make themselves aerodynamic down the long straightaway. And I don't want to say it's the only reason why they have as large of a gap that they do, but you got to kind of wonder if you're these other drivers at some point. It's like, hey, they're continuing to check out, and I'm right here. So,
you know what that means to me, Ian? It means that Martinez is doing everything that he possibly can to find an advantage. It isn't just the head down. It's, you know, different ways of attacking corners, throttle points, how he's working the throttle pedal itself. Everything that Martinez can find in that 38 machine, he's throwing the sink at it to try and keep that advantage growing. And I mean, we've been witnessing it here lap after lap. The 38 machine running incredible lap times. Last time running a 38.790, which is the best lap of the race.
something happened though, because the gap shrunk down to 0.4 of a second. You can see they're right back on the bumper right now. I'm not sure if there was a bobble out of Martinez or if Simon Ellick has really just put the foot down here, but you can see that gap is continuing to close.
Yeah, Simon Ellick not letting Martinez walk away with it easily, keeping him honest here. It's going to be a rocket lap from Simon Ellick, because look at how much he's closed in the last two. Really curious what happened with Martinez, because on the charts it was showing Martinez running way quicker lap times, but this time by the narrowest of margins, Simon Ellick is going to be quicker than Martinez. With a 39.113 to a 39.168. So the pace definitely starting to back up off of the 38 machine and fall into the hands of the 40s. You see him go for a curb hop there, which Martinez has been doing a lot of here, and I can't tell if it's helping him or hurting him.
You would think it wouldn't be beneficial, right? Because if one of the tires is off the ground, especially one of the rear tires, you're not getting powered down on the racetrack. But who knows? Maybe it's worth it to get that extra little bit of corner cut.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, the shift in balance too might be helping him to some degree with corner rotation. But here we go. This is where it gets kind of crazy. 3 wide right now with some lap traffic. And it's going to hurt Martinez, but it's going to hurt Simon Ellick worse, because Martinez was able to get clear on corner exit. Simon Ellick really had to work for it. With lead Simon Ellick going to try to close the gap here as he takes a quick dive through turn 3, now uphill into the S's.
back to about that 3-4 kart length advantage that we've seen throughout a majority of the race here. Still about a minute and 30 seconds left, so plenty of time for Simon Ellick to get up there and do something, mix things up and everything, but you got to get there first. It's we always say in racing, you got to get there, and then it's a totally another thing to pass them. But right now, the main goal should be just to get there, try to set up a move. We've seen a couple of places too. I think that might be a good shot right there to take a shot at Martinez, because if he keeps bumping that tire and you can get speed around that corner and really carry it, I think that sets you up really well for that passing zone we've seen work out very nice getting into the S corners.
And Simon Ellick is here now, working into the final corner here with just a little under a minute remaining for your 206 Cadets and 206 Sportsman final. And this is the closest, I mean, this is the closest we've seen for the win, I want to say, all day, with just 40 seconds remaining.
At least in the finals, I think you can make a safe bet there because all the other ones were in the rain. And so, you know, I would say at least for today, yes.
And here he is, putting the bumper to him, coming up into the S's. Leave Simon Ellick trying to pressure Martinez into making a mistake. Martinez just trying to get out of dodge here and pull away with an advantage, but Lead Simon Ellick not letting that happen. It's going to be a battle for the ages as we have one kart off the track here. Trying to get the number, I want to say, is that a 16 I see?
Yeah, 16.
Tough break for Charlie Hayen, but keeping his foot in it. Able to return back to the track. Close this thing out, but we've got 3 laps remaining on the board here as these guys have worked themselves through turn 3. Up into the S's now with the quick right hand into 4.
A little unfortunate for Martinez too, the timing there. It was just about to expire time on the clock when they got to the line. So one more lap than probably Martinez would have liked, but 2 flags in the air right now, signifying 2 laps to go for all these drivers.
Yeah, the time is definitely running out here. If Simon Ellick wants to make the move, he's going to have to get closer here. They got a lap car in front of him, might be enough to help break into that advantage as we work ourselves out of turn 3. Back uphill into the S's here again. This will be the next to last time. Through the S's is Martinez with the advantage. Coming into the final corner, what do they do with this lap car in front of them? White flag waving in the air. One more lap here to figure it out for the 206 Cadets and Sportsmen's. Blake Martinez with the advantage down into 1 with lap traffic in front of him. I have to dive down to the bottom here into turn 2 with a good clean pass. He's going to be able to get himself a little bit of separation now, because now Simon Ellick has to get it figured out, and he's going to do it in a more difficult complex of the track. And it's really going to hurt Leah Simon Ellick's run here, and that's going to pretty much hand the win on a silver platter to Blake Martinez as he works up through the S's for the final time. Into the last handful of corners, last 2 turns here. Out of the final turn, into the front stretch here, and with a checkered flag waving in the air, it's going to be Blake Martinez keeping up the dominant run here for the 206 Cadets and Sportsmen's. And Leah
James
Simon
Fox
Ellick
will get, yeah, I was going to say James Fox will get the other class win, and then you're about to talk about Leah Simon Ellick. I want to say Blake Martinez did an excellent job there on that last lap to kind of use that lap car as a pick, made a really good job passing in the high-speed part of the track, and then kind of just left Simon Ellick to deal with it, like you said, through the slow part of the track, and you could tell how much it held Simon Ellick up, really kind of killed any chances they had of getting back to Martinez.
Yeah, definitely threw a wrench in Leah Simon Ellick's plan, but I'll tell you what, man, that 40 kart, he really picked up some pace there in that race. A great run out of Leah Simon Ellick, and an impressive run for James Fox to get all the way up to 3rd place here and get the job done for his class. So Buzz Laser bringing it home 4th. A great day for him in the 208 kart. Followed by Patrick McNeely, Keelan Kuntz, Cole Scott, and Charlie Hayen. What an action-packed race that was.
It was a good one.
Now,
speaking of action-packed, yeah.
Yeah, for the final time of the day, the most scrappy class of drivers that we have here from Whiteland Raceway Park, the 206 Masters getting ready to take to the course. Now, it has basically been the J. Brian Williams show. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Evan McCorkadell, Troy Toney really seemed like they were putting the pressure to him last go-round, so one final chance for these guys to show what they got here this afternoon.
chance, one opportunity.
Oh, no, no. I'm trying to hold back my mom's spaghetti right now. And the gates are opening up now as the 2-6 Masters getting ready to take to the course for their 10-minute dash here to the finish. J. Brian Williams going to lead the grid here down to turn number 1 as these guys get ready for as these guys continue their formation lap. I'll tell you what, has been incredible action from this class of drivers here all weekend long. Definitely excited to see what they have tucked up under their sleeve here for the grand finale. As they now line up 2 by 2 here for the 4-cart field. Ready to work their way into the tram line for the final time here. J. Brian Williams leading Evan McCorkadale. That is your front row to start this thing out with Troy Toney and Kevin Simonellic sitting 3rd and 4th. Flag in the starter's hand. And the green flag is out. We are underway. Now a deep dive down to turn number 1 for J. Brian Williams, trying to solidify the lead here down the 2nd straightaway. One Kart to the inside, but gonna fall back out of it a little bit. That's Troy Toney in the 24 machine. Tony on the back bumper now, the 75 of Brian Williams working up into the S's here.
Brian Williams leading Evan McCorkadale. That is your front row.
Working through the S's here now with a quick left hand onto the front straightaway. J. Brian Williams with the advantage at the start-finish line this go-around. He's going to lead lap 1. Troy Toney's going to move his way up to 2nd with McCorkadale still sitting there in 3rd place over Simonellic in 4th.
Interested to see if we see the 3-car train develop again that we saw in our heat race here between J. Brian Williams, Troy Toney, and Evan McCorkadale. Right now, it seems like that's the case. A little bit of a bobble there from Troy Toney, but able to hang on to it. That's going to open it up a little bit for J. Brian Williams right now.
And all J. Brian Williams wants is for these two to race hard behind him. Let the aggression, you know, boil over with these two machines. Just give him every bit of advantage he can possibly get here. Doesn't want to work super hard for it. He's worked hard all weekend, right?
More or less, yeah.
Down to, and off the track goes Troy Toney with a little bit of contact off the nose of Evan McCorkadale. McCorkadale is going to take over 2nd spot and run with it, though, through turn 2. Down the back straightaway into 3. Everything clean between these two right now. A couple kart lengths separating 2nd from 3rd. Now all eyes for McCorkadale has to be forward to try and reel in J. Brian Williams where he runs away with it.
I wonder, too, for Troy Toney if he has the pace to get back to McCorkadale, and that's not the first time we've seen a little bit of what looks like incidental contact between the two, but Troy Tony both times has been kind of on the short end of the stick of both of those transactions. So you got to wonder if there's a little bit of frustration there.
I'll tell you, there's a reason why Corkadale's paint scheme is sticker bombed with, well, tire rubber. Always aggressive behind the wheel, but never, you know, over the line. I've noticed the handful of races that I've covered him as J. Brian Williams having issues getting up into the S's. It's going to open the door for Corkadale to get to the back bumper here. So working to the last two corners out of the final turn this time. They're going to be bumper to bumper, nose to tail, down the front straightaway through the kink to the start-finish line. J. Brian Williams is going to lead this lap, but it's going to be a difficult one for him now because McCorkadale is there and he is in slipstream and he will be willing to slingshot past here if he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, like we saw all day long, though, it's just going to be about where do you make the move and then do you have enough pace to maintain the lead. That's basically what we've been seeing all weekend long, kind of the story of anybody that's wanted to challenge one of these established drivers that are usually at the front of the pack is they've been able to make one pass, maybe two passes, but not able to hold on for any long period of time. I do say that Evan McCorkadale probably has the talent to be up there at the front and hold on to the lead, but he's got to get there first.
Just got to get by J. Brian Williams here. And right now, playing a little bit of head game, you know, pushing him down the straightaway, letting him know, hey, my bumper is here. I am within range. Better keep an eye on what you're doing up there in the lead because I'll be ready to pick up the pieces if you make a mistake. Just that little bit of pressure right there. That can play a lot on a driver's head. But J. Brian Williams not folding like we've seen all day. It's really hard to break through the armor on that 75 machine as he works through the final turn here. As we got one kart off the track. Looks like the 943 machine of Simon Ellick. A difficult break for him. Three-man battle up at the front, still spearheaded by J. Brian Williams and Evan McCorkadale, but working his way back into the fray here is the 24 machine of Tony. And I tell you what, I'm having senses of deja vu. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it looks just like our heat race from earlier in the afternoon. I will say one thing you were talking about, the bumps might get into the head of certain drivers, but I think for a driver like J. Brian Williams, he's just sitting there taking all the bumps going, thank you, I'll take the extra speed down the straightaway.
Yeah, it's working out for him right now, but still not able to find a way to pull away from these two karts that are on his tail. Corkadale absolutely trying to eat him alive here as we come into turn number one. A little bit of a push again. All clean, though. And these three are just locked. Oh, here we go. A little bit of a bobble off the track for J. Brian Williams. It's going to open up McCorkadale to be able to get the outside here coming into the S's, which is going to build a lot of momentum. Takes a look to the bottom now. Not able to get it, though. The door gets shut in his face as we work uphill into the final two turns. And he's all over the rear bumper here as we come to the start-finish line.
Yeah, it's just going to really kind of just shuffle things around temporarily. It's going to be the same running order once it all shakes out, but that's definitely going to make everything closer right now. Going to get us back into the three-kart train territory that we saw before. So we'll see if anybody here is able, again, to break away from the pack at all. It's always just been so tight. Oh, there goes J. Brian Williams. Almost spins it, too.
Well, I tell you what, you were talking about, you know, him not feeling pressured. I think that right there was a little bit of what bit him, trying to get as much as he could to try and pull away from the 191 machine of McCorkadale. Just makes a small mistake that compounded into a little bit bigger of one that opened the opportunity up for McCorkadale and Tony to get by. Now Tony is all over the back bumper of the 191 machine as we come across the start-finish line and take 4 minutes to go. And no, Tony makes the pass. I blinked and I missed it. Now McCorkadale all over the back bumper of the 24 machine, trying to take the lead back. Giving another shot to the rear bumper here as we work up into the S's.
I don't blame you, Sheldon, for blinking and missing stuff. That's pretty much been the story for the 206 Masterclass the entire weekend.
Absolutely. Need to tape my eyes open for this one, but Troy Tony now with the advantage of the 24 kart. Evan McCorkadale all over the back bumper. Now we're going to see if Troy Tony can be shaken the same way J. Brian Williams was.
I'm interested to see if J. Brian Williams can catch up. I think he can.
Oh, absolutely. If there's anybody in this field that has the pace to do it, it's going to be J. Brian Williams. Look at that. You see a little bit of a wiggle on the rear bumper of the 191 machine. I'm gonna have to tighten that up here after the race. It's a battle scar from a hard-fought weekend. But bumper to bumper now, down into turn 1. Does McCorkadell make the move? Nope, he's going to stay in line behind Troy Tony. Troy Tony with the advantage now through the second straightaway into turn 2. Now down the backstretch. I don't think McCorkadell's going to try and make the dive here. Nope, not going to do it. Going to stay in line behind the 24 as we work out of 3, now up into 4, and then later the S's. Into the S's, a little bit of a grab of Indiana grass there for the 24 machine of Tony. And look who's back into the fray.
I was just about to say the same exact thing. J. Brian Williams is right there on the back bumper of these two drivers. It's really going to be now an interesting position that J. Brian Williams really hasn't found himself in this weekend. He's going to be after the one to pick his way through these two karts and get himself back to the lead if he wants to take home the trophy today.
Tell you what, I can't think of anybody more capable, though. J. Brian Williams has been dominant all weekend long since we took the green flag Saturday. You know he wants to complete it today, especially after the upset with all the weather earlier this morning. The bumper to bumper now down the front straightaway. Still in the lead. Troy Tony, 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining before we get the 2 to go signal. Backstretch, Evan McCorkadell still trying to find some kind of an advantage over the 24 machine, or maybe just trying to push him away from J. Brian Williams, because I don't think he likes how close that machine's getting in his rear view. Out of the final corner now, onto the front straightaway, 57 seconds remaining on the board. Troy Tony still with the advantage down through 1. Evan McCorkadell following. Locked in tight all over the back bumper here. But it looks like Troy Tony's starting to get a little bit of a pull, though. Here we come out of turn 3. Up into the S's now through 4. A little bit of pushing. McCorkadell laying the front bumper to the back of the 24 machine of Troy Tony.
Right now, J. Brian Williams, I'm not sure if he just can't get back up to this group or if he's just trying to bide his time and then really take advantage of a run here coming to. Going to be 3 laps to go, I would imagine. This time they're probably going to see the double sticks in the air for 2 laps to go next time they get back to the flag stand, Sheldon.
That means the time to make the move is fastly approaching, and I just feel like McCorkadell's leaving it wrapped up for just a little bit longer here, waiting maybe until that last lap to make that bonsai move to take the lead. Because it's going to have to be a last-second move if you're going to try and shake up Troy Tony, because Troy Tony's such a good driver as well, with a great history here in motorsports. With 2 laps remaining, Troy Tony, your leader, over McCorkadell. It's a 3-kart fight for the win, because J. Brian Williams is back up here into it.
He's right there again with 2 laps to go, just ever so slightly closing the gap over the past couple of laps. Now he finds himself pretty much in primo position right there in 3rd place, at least to have his choice of moves, right? I'm sure he'd rather be in the front of the pack, because we have a little bit of contact with Corkdale and J. Brian Williams there. That's going to give Troy Tony a little bit of advantage. Really, that might just be just enough for him to hang on to this for the last lap.
White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Troy Tony trying to nurse an advantage over Evan McCorkadell, and J. Brian Williams sitting there 3rd, trying to reel both of these karts in to make a move, but I don't think it's going to happen as we work through the back straightaway. We're going to need to be a lot closer than this to be able to get it done in time. Through turn 4, a little bit of a bobble off into the grass for Troy Tony, but it's not enough to hurt him too bad. But here comes Evan McCorkadell with a huge run at the last second. Through 4, up into the S's. And McCorkadell is there all over the back bumper, going to move him up out of the way. Not going to be enough, though. Down to the bottom of the final corner. Can't find a place to make the move, and just barely hanging on. Troy Tony is going to take the checkered flag for the 206 Masters over Evan McCorkadell, Brian Williams, and Kevin Simonellic. And man, what a fight there to the finish.
Yeah, what a drive by Troy Tony. You could see how pumped he was when he came across the line to get that one done. Just held off Evan and Jay Brian Williams for really the final 4 or 5 laps, which is really impressive. We've seen a lot of drivers like take a move to the lead. And I even said it earlier in this final race where a lot of people have made a move to the lead, but they haven't been able to hold on to the lead. While Troy Tony did hang on to the lead, and he's going to be your 206 Masters final winner for today.
Well, I can tell you, Troy Tony, so pumped coming across the start-finish line there to finish it off because he knows he made a mistake that probably should have got it yanked away from him there coming through 3. Just caught the grass ever so slightly, lost a whole bunch of momentum, and was able to throw the door back in the face of Evan McCorkadale to hold him off through the S's. And man, that was a hard-fought fight from all 3 of these drivers.
Really was. It was really fun to watch too. It was really just me saying really 17 times in a row, and also just great driving by all these drivers out here, really putting on a show. This 206 Masters class, man, every single time we watch it, it just kind of happens to go that way.
It really does. As you see them move the 943 machine of Kevin Simonelli back onto the back of our favorite flatbed here. Oh man, we got 2 more remaining here for the afternoon.
Only 2 more. I know, it's gone so fast.
It's crazy. Where'd the time go? Oh, well, I just looked at the clock. I know exactly where it went. Not me double checking to make sure that I am unmuted on everything.
Would it be the first time that's happened today?
Oh yeah. As we get a look at those responsible for these incredible camera shots that we've been receiving all day long. Tell you what, camera crew has absolutely put in their work this week. As we look at the KA Juniors getting ready to take to the track here to finish out their afternoon of tremendous racing. And the gates are open and hounds are unleashed here. And it's going to be Mason Gallion leading Lucian Laser and Jordan Le Pen to the start here over Mason Ward and Nolan Wade.
See if Mason Gallion can continue the dominance that happened in the heat race. I was really surprised how they were able to just walk away from the rest of the field here, especially Lucian Laser, Jordan Lapin, Mason Ward. Even Nolan Wade, everybody in this class is very, very competitive. So it was impressive to see Mason Gallion walk away to that much of a victory.
Yeah, Mason definitely had afterburners on the 64 Kart earlier, so we'll see what happens here. You know, it's been unpredictable to an extent today, but at some point the unpredictable's got to become predictable. Am I right?
I think so. Did Uncle Ben say that, or?
I think that was great power and responsibility. Either way, loading up into the tram lines here for the final time here for the KA Juniors. Green flag is in hand, and the green flag is down, and we are underway. And a great start from Lucian Laser, going to come down and cover the first place position before we even get into turn number 1. The 800 machine taking charge here early over Mason Gallion.
Yeah, a lot of drivers there I noticed too in that first corner cut the grass, so I don't know if Gallion just kind of cut the corner a little bit early and then everybody else followed and did the same thing. But yeah, like you said, that's going to allow Lucian Laser to get out to a pretty decent advantage, at least for the time being right now, at least 2 to 3 kart lengths, which is more than what can be said for the rest of the field, at least currently.
I'm pretty sure there's a joke that we made about these motors and grass cutting, but I'm going to leave that one in good taste as Lucian Laser trying to walk away with an advantage right now, but Mason Gallion closing ever so slightly and now hugely down the back straightaway into turn number 3. But Mason really struggling with that transition from turn 3 to the straight. We've seen that a couple times out of the 64 machine. It just seems like maybe the handle is going a little bit on that kart.
Yeah, really stacked up Lapin now too. You can see kind of the push to the back bumper of Gallion there, trying to get by, and especially if Gallion's going to continue to have trouble with the hairpin section like you alluded to just a bit earlier, that pass is going to happen, and scratch that is going to happen right now. Lapin going to go to the inside of Gallion, take that spot away, and then set sights on Lucian Laser.
And Jordan Lapin with a really clean pass through turn 1, going to take away the spot from Mason Gallion, now setting the sights to Lucian Laser. Is he going to be able to close in, or is Lucian on cruise control right now himself?
Yes, the remaining 8 minutes and 18 seconds will tell. I mean, you can see it's probably been the biggest gap we've seen so far in this class. About, I would say at least, well, you can see on the timing board now, at least nearly 2 seconds of a gap that's been opened up for Lucian Laser. It's not even going to be measured in kart lengths anymore, but still a good battle going on here for second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, the fight for second is definitely not over. As you see, Gallion trying to get right past the H17 machine of Lapin. And this right here is exactly what Lucian wants to see. These guys going at it, throwing haymakers on each other, trying to tussle it out. Every time these carts go side by side, we got one off the track right now. Looks like, I want to say, was that Ward?
I believe so, just because it's not updating right now on the scoring screen, yes.
I do believe it was. That means it's a 2-kart battle now for second place. Jordan LePen right now with the advantage, working up into the S's. Here comes Mason Gallion, though, up to the back bumper. This is where Gallion's had so much speed today. This is his final complex corners, his final string here. Takes a look to the inside. Not enough momentum to make it happen. LePen going to close the door and hold on to second place here at the stripe for this time. But 7 minutes remaining. And now down to the inside. A quick look to the bottom. Tried to fake him out. Didn't get him to go shallow. Now going to look to the inside again as we come up the hill into 3. And he's going to take it here into 3. But, over the curbing again. A little bit of contact between the two. Lapin's going to take the spot right back as quick as he loses it. Now up into the S's. And Lapin still hanging on to second.
Yeah, good crossover there by Lapin, and then Gallion too kind of caught the curb there a little bit, slowed down all the momentum that they had to be able to hold on to that position. You see it's going to open the gap up a little bit more for Lapin now, but who's loving all of this battling going on behind him as they just set the fastest time of the race last time by is Lucian Laser.
It is a 4-second advantage now for Lucian Laser. Bo Laser did an incredible job earlier today in the rain. Lucian, has had a little touch of bad luck this weekend. But up here at the point right now, while these two are battling it out, this right here, if you can get the checkered flag for this will set all of that to the wayside. Because this is definitely a great run out of the 800 machine. And all set up by an incredible power move into the first corner. Now looking to the bottom, looking to the top, and not finding anything of it is Gallion. Now looking back to the bottom again into turn 1 to the inside of Lapin. Now working into turn 2 side by side. Lapin going to prevail for now, but here comes Gallion back. But Lapin going to use the outside line momentum to pull him past the 64 machine as they work up into 3. And Gallion struggling again, getting into 3, loses a little bit of touch to the back of the 817 machine as Lapin sets a blistering pace now through the S's into the final 2 turns.
And if Gallion can get past Lapin here, I think that they have a chance to chase down Lucian Laser, because that last time by, they actually put down the fastest lap of the race with a 35.0. Compare that to Lucian Laser's 35.1. But that pace has been kind of evening out for Lucian Laser, so if Mason Gallion can continue that kind of pace, a 35.0 pace, able to get there just right now, stuck behind the back bumper of Lapin, as you see.
Jordan Lapin being defensive now through the S's. Mason Gallion trying to find some kind of an advantage, somewhere he can stick the nose of that kart that will throw Lapin off his game, but it's not happening right now because Lapin's just doing such a tremendous job being aggressive and just holding his own with defensive moves. Through 1, not enough for Gallion this time. Now settling in, getting to the inside, now taking a peek to the bottom. Not going to be able to use anything of it as they come into turn number 3. Over the curbs again, but a really good time through turn 3 that time for Gallion. Jordan Lapin leading it in second place here. Gonna be able to get it down for another lap at least as Gallion looms just a kart length separated off the back bumper, the 817 machine, but up at the front of the pack in the bright red fire suit, the 800 machine of Lucian Laser running away now to a 5.4 second advantage over second and third.
Yeah, I know as this battle continues to rage on, much farther behind him now than it was earlier. You can see the 5-second advantage that you were just alluding to. Lucian Laser is loving this. He goes, please continue to keep fighting back there. Please continue to keep holding each other up so I can just continue to drive into the sunset and take my trophy and go home. 3 minutes 25 seconds here left in our KA Junior final, plus the 2 laps at the end of it.
And Laser with the fastest lap of the race now. A literal 35 flat. So he's finding speed when it matters most, but now side by side into the S's. Here comes the 64 machine of Gallion trying to set up a crossover, not able to get the power down in time though. Lapin gonna hold on to second still as we work through the final corners here onto the front straightaway with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining on the board, plus the 2 laps to finish it out.
3 minutes 25 seconds here left.
Down through turn, which is 1 and 2, bumper to bumper again. A quick look to the inside, but the door getting shut just as quick as he looks. Now Gallion looking to the bottom again, and he's got a good run, but he's not going to be able to do anything of it. Thinks better of it. Tries to set up for a pass into the S's. But Lapin just doing a good job keeping that kart about 2 lanes wide.
Yeah, and Gallion continue to get to that spot right alongside there, but just can't complete the pass, and it's going to continue to slow Gallion down if they continue to try it. But I mean, what else are you going to do? You're going to have to try to get past the kart one way or another.
Also, at what point do the gloves come off? At what point do you get a little too overzealous about it?
Well, I would keep your karting gloves on. They help you grip the wheel. So.
Well, yeah, good call. Yeah. You know, maybe chuck one at somebody or something like that. I'm just giving all these kids at the track right now that'll be racing at some point really bad ideas. So we'll pump the brakes on this one. Keep your karts on, your gloves on at all times, kids. But Lucian Laser with a 6.8 second advantage now with 1 minute 34 left on the board. And I mean, honestly, at this point, his race to lose up at the front as these two still going toe-to-toe. Now down to the inside. Here comes Gallion into turn 3. Is he going to set it? Yes, he does. Gallion going to finally take over that spot that has been eluding him for so many laps. But no, here comes Lapin setting it back down into 4 up through the S's. A little bit of contact, and once again, Gallion going to be the odd man out here in second place, now sitting in third.
Yeah, Gallion is there, has the speed to make the pass, but is just not able to clear in quite a way that allows them to continue the momentum and hold the position off for Lapin. Lapin's able actually to just kind of wait for the move and then do the opposite, and able to work the momentum that way and get back to the front.
These guys lost a 1.5 seconds too with that quick transaction, that little battle they just had. That just opens the window of opportunity up even more for Lucian Laser up there at the front. 8.3 seconds. He can comfortably breathe and just work his way around here at about 75-80% just to bring home the checkered flag, while these two are still going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, really, it's just we've kind of joked about a Sunday drive all day long, but this is probably the closest that anybody's actually had to it for Lucian Laser here this afternoon. He's going to basically have 3 laps to go to kind of seal up the KA Junior win here this afternoon.
I'll tell you what, man, it's definitely somebody that has deserved it, because this has been a weekend that's been very trying for Lucian Laser. You know, had the issues yesterday in qualifying and in the heat, which set him in the worst possible spot. Had a great drive to get all the way up into the, I think it was up all the way up to second, all the way through the field. And it didn't work out to where he was able to bring home the hardware. But here he is right now with just 2 laps remaining, and all the difficulties melting away here for the 800 kart. And all because he just made a daring move down into the first turn, the first person to make the outside line work on any of these initial starts all weekend long. It's going to be Lucian Laser taking the white flag here. One more time around this speedway, down into turn 1. Clean sailing for him. And second place, there's a bit of separation now. Le Pen going to pull away from Mason Gallion now. A couple kart links separating these two, so possibly this has settled out, unless there's a big mistake out of Le Pen. Made a good charge here, though, from Gallion to try and get back up to the back bumper. Another stab at it here, up into 4, but not close enough to make the contact, not close enough to make the move. And it's going to be into the S's here for the final time, and it looks like it's pretty much set in stone here. Le Pen looks like he's going to take home second, but across the line, Lucian Laser going to get the job done. Jordan Le Pen going to hold off second ever so slightly over Mason Gallion in third, and bringing the field home, it's going to be Nolan Wade and Mason Ward.
Really good junior final there, especially the battle between second and third, just Lapin and Gallion going back and forth all final long. It was really fun to watch. Good job, Lucian Laser, too. Like you said, kind of a up and down weekend, but definitely ends on a high note here with the KA Junior final win.
Absolutely, and that is a Laser sweep today too, by the way. As Bo got that one earlier, Lucian going to get one, so 2 big wins for both of those young drivers, which definitely going to propel the confidence forward here. And it's a good race, all in all. I mean, that battle between Le Pen and Gallion was one for the ages. And it was just a defensive driving masterclass from the 817 machine of Jordan Lapin to get that thing home. So you see the final karts pulling off the track, and, well, this about wraps it up here for us this evening, because we got one more class left. It's the 206 Lights. And we were talking about the J. Brian Williams show earlier, and honestly, it's been a trail of surprise wins here. I mean, I wouldn't say surprise because they were deserving drivers with a lot of pace, but if you bet coming into the race based on who did what and qualifying in the heats, you'd been missing some money. So here's the question: is Braden Hebert the safe bet coming into this?
I would say so. I think you could confidently bet on that, but we've seen weirder things happen. We saw that pass to the outside by Lucian Laser in the last race. Maybe somebody took notes from that, especially if you're on the outside of row number 1 where Heber is right now. We'll see.
Well, last race, I would have said it would have been Gallion would have been the safe bet.
Yeah.
And before that, it would have said J. Brian Williams, and I'd have been empty-handed times too. Not for their lack of trying, it was just the rest of the field, seemed like they had a little bit up their sleeve. I'm going to be curious here. I'm going to keep my eyes on Levi Wilbur, because you've seen how competitive he can be with Braden Heber. In qualifying, they were separated by 4 1/1000ths of a second. As we look at the starting grid here, before we go green, Braden Heber's going to lead Levi Wilbur, Ethan Williams, Tyler Sims, Andrew Petrie, Zachary Allen, Andrew Goldman, Colton Kelly, Colin Harden, and Gavin Haltom to start here. 10-card field to give us the grand finale of events here on Kart Chaser this afternoon. So line up side by side here through the tram lines. It's going to be probably another good clean start here, as we've seen all weekend long. Green flag is in the air, down into turn number 1. Braden Heber leading them. Outside line not getting the draw that we saw last time, but a good enough draw for Levi Wilbur to be able to tuck back into second place out of turn 2 over the 42 machine of Ethan Williams. And a logjam of karts from 4th place on back, with the top 3 breaking away into their own territory.
Yeah, everybody kind of just finding a way to get single file right now, especially with the experience that you have in this class. A lot of these drivers are trying to find their way to just get to the most optimum line as quickly as they can, and then from there just try to tick away laps and hit their marks, really just hitting all their apexes, all their exits, trying to get efficient lap times. So what you're going to see here is we see a little bit of a challenge now from Wilbur up to the back bumper of Heber. Not quite that yet, but he's going to take a look to the inside and he's going to get the spot
and he's
easily.
going to take it. Yeah, Levi Wilbur flexing his muscles early here. Going to take away the top spot from Braden Heber, but Braden Heber not going to settle on it. Going to stay on the back bumper here coming out of the final turn. Takes a quick peek to the bottom, but not any momentum to get anything done with. Going to stay tucked up here into turn 1 and probably going to set for a charge. No, he's going to wash up just ever so slightly, but still connected to the rear bumper, pushing him all the way around the track here. Now working up through turn 3, up into the S's. Quick right-hander into 4, not trying to set up a pass just yet, staying in line, knows that he has to play a little bit of defense because Williams is hard charging on the back bumper of Heber.
I was going to say, yeah, he's got to play defense right now with Ethan Williams, who's right there in the third car in this three-car train that is at the front of your pack right now. Falls away a little bit there through the high-speed section, but I think also just trying to set up a little bit of the run there. Going to take a look to the inside. Heber there almost with a little bit of a bobble that would give it the room to Williams to be able to save there. Now looks to the inside of Wilbur, and he's going to make the pass here, but is that going to stick? Going to stay to the outside. Wilbur's looking on the outside right now of Heber. Heber's going to try to steal off the inside. They're going to go side by side through the S's again. So the second time we've seen this today, Sheldon, Wilbur's going to complete the pass.
And that was a high IQ move out of Levi Wilbur. Most other drivers would have freaked out because, you know, Heber got the inside, but Wilbur just kept the car set, kept the RPMs up just enough to stay side by side, toe to toe with Heber, making it impossible for him to clear, knowing that the tail end half of the track was all going to be inside for Wilbur, and he was going to be able to complete the pass. But here comes Heber again, up to the back bumper, into 3. A little bit of a shot, not enough to do anything, though. Wilbur going to hang on to the spot over Heber for this lap, it looks like, as he worked through the S's again.
Yeah, Wilbur able to open up at least a half a kart length of an advantage right now. That's not going to last for long, though, as you see Heber now getting all the way up to the back bumper of Williams' kart. Going to follow him in the turn 1 here. This is where we've been seeing a lot of the moves, at least in this class. They're going to take a look to the inside, at least for the time being, but nothing there right this second.
Yeah, didn't have the momentum, didn't have the run. Working up into 3 now. A little bit of a curb hop there for Heber. And, oh, issues. Williams is around, backed up against the wall. You can see the frustration. Tough break for the 42 machine, sitting there in 3rd place. Looked like he had an opportunity to get the job done if these two just started racing too hard up at the front, but that's going to take a lot of pressure off the back bumper, the 8 machine of Heber. Now he's going to make a dive down to the bottom to try and make the pass. A little bit of contact, tire to tire into turn 1. Not enough momentum, though, and it's going to fall back into the hands of Levi Wilbur. He takes the top line around the track and into turn 3. Levi Wilbur's going to hold strong for now, but here comes Heber again with another charge into the S's.
Yeah, really, like the theme of the entire weekend, it's all been about the momentum after you make the pass. The passes almost really don't even seem like the hard part. Like the move to make the pass, Sheldon, isn't the hard part. It's hanging on to the lead once you actually make that pass. Wilbur doing a fantastic job over the past couple of laps here to allow Heber to try those moves, but then also just hold enough of a line to hang on to it. Although now, as I say that, they're side by side here. Heber's really giving away
contact.
An advantage. I say that, holds on to the inside.
And here comes Wilbur trying to set up a crossover, but kind of bottled the corner a little bit. Was on 3 wheels coming into turn 3. But here he comes again with a crossover, going to send it through the S's on the inside of Heber, and he's going to take the spot away. Heber's really having to work for this one.
They're having to work hard, and both of them honestly are having to work hard. It's both of them battling against each other right now. This has been about 5 minutes of them going back and forth, and we still have 5 minutes and 2 minutes left about when we get through this lap. And right now it's just been trading blows, especially through this first complex of corners right here. Nobody's really tried to make a move, at least to the hairpin here, that will stick. It's always been kind of that trade-off move, right? So I don't think that might be the place where you want to make that move. I think it's really where you want to do it is when you're going into that S section, especially with these karts.
And also, how about this with the misfortune for the 42 machine of Williams? That opens the opportunity up for Sims. Tyler Sims sitting there 3rd place in the 19 machine. He's been quiet all weekend, but just outside of the money positions. And now we are side by side, locked again through 1 and 2, down to the bottom. Here comes Heber, a little bit better of a form this time. They're going to be dead even coming into 3. what's Wilbur going to do? A little bit of a crossover. Heber's going to close the door. Here comes Heber now, going to try and set up on the outside into the S's. Trying to build extra momentum in that kart for Wilbur. All over the back bumper now through the S's. Wasn't able to get side by side like he was hoping to. But he's still within a stone's throw of your race lead.
Yeah, still within a stone's throw and basically just traded that momentum now. You're going to see if Wilbur will try to do the same exact move back to Heber there that Heber just did to Wilbur. Now able to get alongside here through this long straightaway, but we'll see if there's any kind of move here. I think if you're Wilbur, you got to not do the same thing that Heber just did. I think Heber would be expecting that. I think you got to look for a different part of the racetrack to make your move. Ultimately, it comes down to wherever the momentum is and wherever the run is, right? But from a strategy and a racecraft point of view, you really got to keep your opponent guessing, keep them on their toes, keep them uncomfortable, because if the more they have to think, the more they're likely to make mistakes.
Absolutely. As you watch him now work their way down the front straightaway, Heber with the advantage over Levi Wilbur. This has been an incredible battle to wrap things up this afternoon between these two. And it looks like Heber definitely just has the advantage right now. It seems like he's settling in now, clicking off those fast laps that we're used to seeing out of him. But a little bit of a choke up there in turn 3 again. Same thing that, you know, created the racing we saw last race. And here he comes down to the bottom into the S's. It's going to be Levi Wilbur taking the lead over again through turn 4 as we work into the S's now through the final 2 corners. Back onto the front straightaway. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And Heber going to not have the opportunity to make a pass this time because Wilbur's going to keep that bottom line checked off. And he's just going to let Heber push him around the track.
I really like the spot where Wilbur made that last move right there. That's what I was kind of trying to articulate, but I couldn't find the right words. Was you want to make your move there to that part of the track. That Wilbur did, because that allows you to keep the momentum going into the long stretch of straightaways there. Your AC was able to keep Heber off of his back bumper there, and you see just the slightest bit of a gap opening up right now, but you know that's not going to last for long.
These two still hounding each other down the front straightaway. That lap goes to Wilbur, but Heber all over the bumper coming down into turn 1. Just a little bit further back in the pack right now. Everybody else just kind of separated. That's definitely the battle you want to keep your eyes on, though, as Heber hounds the 506 machine of Wilbur up into turn 4. But I'll tell you, Heber has been great all week, but it seems like Wilbur's just a little bit better in that second half of the track.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's where the move really was an advantage for Wilbur, now able to hold on to Heber and really kind of put his kart where he wants it to be and kind of take away the momentum from Heber. You see Heber there really wants to go for that outside line and then try to cut to the inside, and Wilbur there with his line, great defensive line, just doing a really good job of cutting off all that extra momentum that Heber's trying to get.
Heber not letting Wilbur fall out of his range of sight here, still within reaching distance of the front bumper. So we work into the final 2 corners here. 30 seconds remain, plus 2 laps. So this right here is basically us taking the 3 to go as we are side by side now down into turn 1. Levi Wilbur going to hold on, but here with the crossover comes Heber. And not able to make anything sick of it, though. Heber going to have to fall back in line for turn 2. Wilbur being defensive down into turn 3. Going to back it up here and try to roadblock it a little bit. And it's going to work for now, but up into turn 4, this is where we've seen so many passes happen. Heber going a little bit wide into the corner, trying to get the momentum into the S's. It's going to pull him up to the back bumper here as we work into the last 2 turns. Into the final corner now, onto the front straightaway. That quick left-hand kink right there. And here comes Heber looking to the outside now. Now looking to the bottom. Falls back in the line behind Wilbur, though. Wilbur does a good job holding defensive through turn 2. Wilbur still with the advantage as we have 2 laps remaining, by the way. Up into 3 now, back up into 4. Here comes Heber looking to the outside. Not able to get anything to stick, though. Wilbur holding on as we work into the last 2 turns. Down to the last 2 to the front straightaway. White flag waving in the air. This is going to be the final lap here. This is going to be the lap that decides everything for the 206 lights. Heber with a quick toss up to the outside. Going to try and get the advantage into 1 with a crossover now to the bottom, side by side. There's a drag race down to turn 2. Heber with the advantage. Here comes Wilbur trying for a crossover. A little bit of contact. Both karts moving all over the track, and Heber going to hold on here, but into 3. Wilbur with the advantage now around the outside. Is he going to be able to make it connect? Is he going to get the run? Now cutting back to the bottom, and Wilbur with the lead into the S's. What is Heber going to do as we come into the final corner? A little bit of contact side by side into the last turn, but Wilbur going to hold strong around the outside. And to the start-finish line, it is going to be Levi Wilbur taking the checkered flag.
Heber will take second, and then shout out to Tyler Sims. Look at that, coming through right now for the time being, and I think he will hang on. It's going to be really close, but he's going to hang on for that third podium spot. With the unfortunate happenings to Williams, he's going to sneak his way in there, take the third step of the podium. Great job for him.
And with probably the biggest battle we've seen all weekend long, Levi Wilbur going to hold on strong to take home the checkered flag over Braden Heber. I'll tell you what, if you're a betting man, I mean, what'd I say coming into this thing, Ian?
I think you did say Wilbur.
And Levi Wilbur going to take it home with Braden Heber in second. Third place going to Tyler Sims after a great job just holding consistency to bring it home on the podium, followed by Andrew Petrie, Ethan Williams. Sixth place going to Colton Kelly, followed by Zachary Allen, Andrew Goldman, Kyle Landon, and Colin Harden, rounding out the 10-kart field here. And I'll tell you what, Ian, it has been an incredible 2 days of racing. How do you feel, man?
Well, that was fun. It's always a thrill to come out here to Whiteland Raceway Park, and especially be on the Kart Chaser Network and call all this exciting action for everybody watching wherever they may be. It's always fun to be in the booth, of course, with you, Sheldon, and hang out and just really just see everything unfold and talk about it, and I would just observe it firsthand as well.
Absolutely. Well, I know I had a blast. I'm still waiting for the heart rate to come down and the breath to go back into my lungs after that closing battle here. Now, unfortunately, that was the end of our coverage here on Kart Chaser, but be sure to tune in next week because I'm sure we have some incredible action in store for you. Thanks for watching back at home, and thank you to this. Well, thank you to everybody involved. I mean, the crew themselves did an incredible job today. Can't give them enough pats on the back, as well as everybody here at the track. And on that note, we'll catch you next time here on Kart Chaser.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. Long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like $20 a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like $50 a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion, Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome. From Briggs 206 to Mini to K100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Are you sick of making the wrong setup changes? Or arguing with your kid about their driving? Apex gives you the answers within seconds. Apex is the latest innovation from Kart Class, which can solve thousands of karting queries at the press of a button. No more asking random people kart setups, or being intimidated by larger teams. Just type it in and let Apex do the rest. Apex covers different kart brand setups, axles, rims, seats, and everything racecraft related. For as little as a can of chain lube, you can learn from over 30 years karting experience in seconds in the palm of your hand. Check out Apex at kartclass.com today.